Hello there, my name is Kara Groff, and I'm excited to share some information about a topic close to my heart. In this video, I'll be discussing women leadership, some of the struggles they face, and their leadership in the COVID-19 pandemic. To begin, I'll start with defining a few key terms that will be used throughout the video. One of the more commonly used metaphors to describe some of the struggles women face is the glass ceiling, which is defined as an unofficially acknowledged barrier to advancement in a profession, especially affecting women and numbers of minorities. Similar to the glass ceiling, the glass cliff metaphor created by Ryan and Halsam is defined as a situation in which a woman or member of a minority group ascends to a leadership position in challenging circumstances where the risk of failure is high. Eagly and Carley suggest that instead of another glass metaphor, women face a labyrinth, noting that passage through a labyrinth is not simple or direct, but requires persistence, awareness of one's progress, and a careful analysis of the puzzles that lie ahead. To tie these all together, Ryan and Halsam continue with these glass metaphors, stating, in addition to confronting a glass ceiling and not having access to a glass elevator, they, women, are also likely to be placed on a glass cliff. Cliffs can include tough financial situations, crises like the COVID-19 pandemic, or even sticky political situations where, despite best efforts by an individual, regardless of gender, the likelihood of success is dire. Moving on to some of the barriers women face. Bruskel and her team conducted a study and were unable to find any powerful leadership role that the participants associated specifically with women, besides the president of a women's-only college, which Bruskel notes is kind of depressing, to be honest. Another one of the more puzzling barriers women can face when seeking leadership roles stems from within their own gender and is known as the queen bee syndrome. Rao defines this rather rarely caught phenomenon as the practice where the successful senior women prevent ambitious princesses from reaching the senior positions. And he cites Margaret Thatcher and Indira Gandhi as examples of women who made it difficult for other women in their organization to succeed. Elmers et al. Pointedly note that this syndrome often backfires on an organization and even the queen bee female herself, with organizations putting this queen on a pedestal to promote diversity, but in reality they are promoting a different type of workplace, one that's toxic and can harm the overall organizational culture. One of the things that sets women apart from other male leaders is their capacity for empathy. With this, women may in fact be more effective leaders during certain types of crises where empathy is appreciated or necessary. Neuroscientists have noted that biologically women exhibit a greater capacity for rudimentary forms of empathy rather than a taught social behavior, as many have wondered. As an example of the power of empathy, let's look at the COVID-19 pandemic as a case study to further this theory that women may in fact be adept leaders during a crisis. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinta Ardern has been making global headlines surrounding her country's response and considered effectiveness during this pandemic. McGuire et al. Found that her evolving strategy first included a great deal of reassurance towards the government's actions, then a shift to a more empathetic style, which ultimately led to a shared experience feeling surrounding the crisis for all New Zealanders. Across the world, many have noted how this strategy set New Zealand apart from its neighbors in Ardern's ability to demonstrate concern and confidence towards her constituents. Sargent and Stakovic found that in probing for psychological mechanisms linking women to leadership effectiveness during COVID-19, we found that the content of the briefings differed between men and women governors in terms of two important psychological variables, empathy and confidence. They also found that states with female governors had fewer deaths and more successful stay-at-home orders during the COVID-19 pandemic than male politicians. A notable effort, as more than 700,000 individuals have died of COVID-19 in the United States to date. These female governors and Jacinta Ardern did not fall off the glass cliff, the COVID-19 pandemic in this case, as many thought they would, but managed to lead their followers using empathy and confidence. Rao concludes that when you want society to progress, you must advocate women empowerment and participation. Our work as communication professionals and leaders is not over for women or for minorities. To do so will require breaking the glass ceilings, helping guide others through the labyrinth, and give chances to those who perhaps see a situation differently than us. We must continue striving for and providing opportunities for diverse people to succeed because they can bring more to the table. Women bring a valuable capacity for empathy that can reassure stakeholders, employees, and investors during a crisis, and therefore women should continually seek and deservedly be given leadership roles. Thank you and hope you have enjoyed this video.